And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I've heard that Flowerfall is a very popular game at Origins. People called it the sleeper hit of Origins. But the game is called Flowerfall. Flowers? I mean, really? Flowerfall? So what's the game about? Oh, you drop cards at a table. Oh, really? I've done that for like 200 videos now. Wait a minute. There's a game that's about dropping things on a table? In your face, everybody who cringes, because you have to do that in this game. Will it destroy the cards? No, folks, it never destroys the cards. Is this a fun game? You wait and see. The first thing you do when you play is you find kind of a table space. So we'll use this pink section of my table. And you're going to have, there's 4 of these cards here, and you'll use a certain amount of them depending on how many players are in a game. So we'll play a 3-player game here, and we'll show you. And these are kind of scattered on the board. All right, there they are. Now, each player is going to get a set of cards of their color. Now, your cards all are the same. They essentially have different spots of patio and grass with the flowers of your color. You know, this one has 1 green flower, but on the back, every single one of them is 5 flowers. Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take the card and put it up to eye level when you drop it, which is, once again, yet another discrimination against tall people. But we survive. And you will drop them onto the board one at a time. So, when you drop it, it could land on either side, and you're trying to make it land on other cards. Sometimes it could flip over, although that one didn't, so that was kind of a bad time to use that analogy. There's one that flips over. And so each player is just going to drop them. Now, after you're done dropping all of these onto the table here, you're going to look at each patch. Now, this is a bit complicated because we have a lot of patches that are attached to each other, but there are some that are by themselves. The point here is that green flowers are scoring flowers. So, for example, let's take a look at one of the patches here. See, there's no green flowers down here in this area, and there's no green flowers that this one's touching, so those are no points. These 2 pink flowers are touching these 5 green flowers, but so are these 2 blue. But that also is part of here, which has a whole pile of green flowers in it, and all that comes all the way around here and also attaches over here, and pretty much everything on the board is in one giant patch. Well, not everything. This card here, blue controls that one, so blue is going to get 1 point. In this giant patch, we're going to have to add up the points. We have 2. This pink flower doesn't count because you have to see the middle. 3, 4, coming around, 5 pinks on this big patch. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blacks on this big patch. And then we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blues. So blue wins this big patch, which would give him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points for blue, which means blue has won this game by a mile. Now, not every game is going to end up in one gigantic patch like this, but it could. You can also increase the difficulty of the game by throwing the cards from a certain distance or dropping them off of a very tall height. You know, you can make any kind of ridiculous rule as you want. The rules of this game are very, very short. In fact, let me show you. This is them. It's a very simple game. And the only rule that I did not mention is if your very last card you throw shows 5 green flowers, then that throw does not count. So there's no quick dropping 5 flowers to get points for yourself at the end of the game. Got to use some skill here. So you can increase or decrease the difficulty of this game, and it can be played with up to 7 players because there are 4 other colors that can be played in the game. You can play the cards, Again, like I said, drop your money where you want. You just shuffle the deck before you go and start dropping cards. Very simple. I don't know what it is about Flowerfall, but I love it. It's so simple. But I mean, I love it. The more ridiculous it gets, the more I like it. I mean, sure, you can drop the cards on the table, and that can lead to a somewhat strategic game. But I would prefer that you have to stand on a chair to drop the cards, or maybe even do it at the second story of a building. Or someone has mentioned doing it on an escalator, although that would require a bit of a workout to play the game, or blindfolded. I don't know. The more interesting you can make the game, the more I'm going to like it. This is just silly fun. It's the kind of game you pull out of your pocket and you say, hey, you want to play? 7 people can play. Is it strategic? If you want it to be. Is it silly fun? Yes! So it is a neat game. There is strategy, obviously, what cards to play, how to play the card. When do I try to go for it? Do I go for that big pile of points, or should I go for this little patch of 5 flowers over here? Or should I deliberately drop one of my cards as the point-scoring flowers? And I'm sure I could write a book of strategy on this game. Okay, that's a lie. I can't write a book of strategy on this game, but I could say this game is going to provide lots of fun. This is a convention game, a game that you wing out at conventions. This is a party game where you're at a dinner with people and you're waiting for that waiter to show up and you say, hey, let's play this. All you got to do is stand up when it's your turn and we'll drop them all over the table. Sure, everyone else in the restaurant will look at you like you're weird, but you're already playing board games, folks. Come on, let's live with it. Flowerfall. If I haven't gotten across to the point to you that this is silly fun, then get it. Because that is what it is. But it's neat. It's obviously thought through. It's designed by a very good game designer. I mean, the guy did innovation. Is this like innovation? No. But it's still lots of fun. You really have to almost play it to see how enjoyable it is. But I've yet to see anyone say, I hate this game when they play it. They play it and then they start laughing and they keep playing it. And folks, that's Flowerfall.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.